On the first day of uh, Liz Truss's premiership, I was in Leeds on a programme on Channel 4, and Baroness Warsi was on it, and she was charming. And she's just done a podcast with James Thingamy. I can't remember his name now. Oh my goodness, what's his name? What's James O'Brien? There we are, James O'Brien. And in the podcast, she talks about the way that her party, the Conservative Party, has slipped away from what she recognises. It's slipped away from her. Does she leave it? She joined this party as a young girl. She was very proud to be the first Asian member of the cabinet, and she hopes. I think she hopes that it's going to come back to the centre. It's been taken over by right-wing thugs, and I recognise this argument. I recognise this argument very well, and she wants to see beyond the present. She wants to look beyond and look into the future when things will be restored. She has hope. She has trust. She sees things through the eyes of the future, and she sees things very much through the eyes of her younger self, which was significantly more optimistic than her present self. And I think seeing things through other people's eyes, seeing things through with the eyes of hope when you were younger, is a really good exercise. And I posted a piece about the Duchess of Sussex, and it drew some quite alarming comment. It drew some very nice comment as well. And somebody was saying, I wish I had your optimism. I really appreciate your message of kindness and so on. Well, it's not particularly a message of kindness. I think the important thing about the Duchess of Sussex and about Meghan is if you don't know very much about her, and frankly, I don't know very many people who do. I don't know very much about the Duchess. Maybe I want to know more. But until I know more, I look at her through Harry's eyes, if I can. Harry loves her. That's enough for me. And it should be enough for all of us. We look at her through his eyes. We can also go back and we can look at her through the eyes of the nation that welcomed her into the royal family. We can look at her at that moment when she was walked down the aisle by the Prince of Wales, as he then was, by the King, as he now is. And who cannot but remember those moments? So if you're in any doubt about Harry and Meghan, think of the past, not so long ago. And how could things have changed so much that you now despise either Meghan or Harry? How could things change that much? Things can't change that much. And this is something I think we should all remember. And similarly, how can people be so cruel as to make such alarming and speculative accusations and suggestions about the Princess of Wales? The internet is literally crawling with nasty comments. And I don't think they were helped by Uncle Gary at all. I think it's shameful and shocking that ITV had some spurious and garrulous gaffoon. Is there such a word as a gaffoon? Anyway, it sums him up. On one of their programmes. Why? Why was he there? What has he done? except to be a voice of nastiness. And even if he doesn't say anything, and he didn't say very much, he embodies that prurient, speculative, and vicious voice inside us all, which needs to be suppressed. As in the Book of Mormon, just turn it down. Turn it down. It's not a voice we ever want to hear. And in the meantime, go to the past and find that optimism in the past, because it's still there. If it was worthy then, it's worthy now. Like when you find time passes by and you look around and you think, how on earth did I ever love that? That old thing, that sofa, that wallpaper. Well, you did once. You did. You thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. This afternoon I was I was trying out little bits of chocolate that I haven't looked at for years and probably wouldn't want, and I realized why. But there were one or two things I thought, those are very tasty. They're very tasty. And it's sometimes nice to revisit the past. And the past holds up very well, doesn't it? The past holds up well. I wish Baroness Warsi well. I hope the Conservative Party returns to the centre ground and the twits from Tufton Street are silenced. And I think the best thing that Rishi Sunak can possibly do now is to throw out Liz Truss and all the babble. And if that means the party is so small it has to abandon government and concede defeat and call a general election, well, it couldn't come too soon at the moment, could it? But at least the Conservative Party could leave with its head held high, as opposed to leave under this banner of shame, islamophobia, hatred, nastiness. What else can we call it? Brexit.